Jordan. A spectacular move.
Be clever.
Bring it home, Kobe, baby. Oh, he came up behind him like a librarian. He never heard him.
That might be one of the craziest knockouts I've ever seen.
G'day, welcome to the Casual Fan Experience YouTube page. Obviously, end of season, we did a few, reactions and predictions to the finals. With that coming to an end, we thought we'd do something a little bit different. Draft was yesterday, so we thought we'd do a tier list as a group. All number one picks from the year 2000, all the way up to, I think it's 2020. Doesn't include, obviously, Cade from last year, because we obviously don't really know what he's going to be properly yet. And obviously doesn't include Paolo because he was drafted yesterday. It could be whatever. I guess we start with the very first one. We've got Dionne D'andrea. Where do we think? Obviously, we've got Hall of Fame, possibly Hall of Fame, pretty good, average, disappointing, and a bust.
I've probably got him in between, I guess, average and pretty good. Probably. I guess it depends what you see as like pretty good and average, but I think like he definitely hasn't been disappointing. I think he's been like kind of what we'd expect. It kind of depends where we get to rank everyone else. And also I think this year's a big one for him because I think that if he does switch teams, I think he could, really, show what he's actually got. So, I'm happy with either. I'd probably go average for now, but he definitely could, like by the end of the season, move up into that next year.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I guess it depends on where we put other guys because, I'd probably have him been pretty good because I think he's had moments of being pretty good, but hasn't had the opportunity to show that he could be a future Hall of Famer potentially. So I'd lean towards pretty good, but I guess it depends on where we put the other guys in this list. But Brendo and Tom, what do you guys think?
I reckon. Oh, you go, Brendo. You go.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with both of you guys, really. I think he's somewhere in between there.
Yeah.
So either one really probably is a good spot. Flashes of being pretty good doesn't necessarily mean you're pretty good.
That's true.
As well. I'd say pretty good sort of, that's your standard sort of level, whereas his standard's probably average. So,
okay. Tommy?
Yeah, well, I'd probably place him pretty good compared to some of the other blokes on there.
Yeah.
But as you said, it could go either way depending on where we put the other one. So
we'll put him here in average to begin with, and he can be top end of average, and we can move them later. They're not locked in.
Yeah.
So next we've got Andrea Barnardi. Obviously went to the Raptors. I'm just going to go ahead and move him right here.
No discussion there.
Yeah, exactly, mate. And joining him right next to him here will be Anthony Bennett as well.
The biggest bust of all time.
That other guy sounded like an Italian pasta.
It's like kind of what he looked like on the court too. Both of those very average picks in the end from some struggling franchises at the time who took pieces they definitely shouldn't have. The next one will be an interesting one. Ben Simmons, obviously he's had a rough couple of years, but looked all right before that. What do we think?
I'm pretty adamant that he's in pretty good. He's been an All NBA player, and I think if you've been an All NBA player, you've got to be at least in pretty good. And obviously, while he didn't play at all last season, and he had some really bad playoff moments, I think that if you're an All NBA level player, I think you got to be at least pretty good. That's better than average in my opinion, for sure.
For me, he could go anywhere between disappointing and possible Hall of Famer.
That's honestly a good point.
Absolutely.
For me, I've got him at disappointing. I understand that. He is a pretty good player, but he hasn't shown it in the big moments.
I actually agree with you, Brendan, as well. I think he's been pretty good, but I also think he's been disappointing.
Yeah,
I think he's actually been both. Like he has been pretty good, but he has been disappointing as well. I feel like I feel like he's shown. He's shown
Sorry,
flashes of potential Hall of Fame, and then it's
Yeah.
like that's why it's disappointing that he's only pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, for me, I understand that he's probably better than some of those players there, but for me, where his ceiling is, he's been disappointing.
Yeah, okay.
That's fair.
I'd probably also have him in pretty good league. I think said All NBA player, All Star. I think he's better than DeAndre Ayton. And if we've got DeAndre Ayton in average, then I think he's going to be pretty good because we had DeAndre Ayton as borderline average, pretty good. So
yeah,
that's where I'd have him anyway.
Yeah, I'm not sort of. I was sort of more looking at probably where you'd think he should be.
Yeah,
Rather than is he better than this player or this player?
That's fair. I mean, as I said, I think him being pretty good is probably disappointing because we expected him probably to be a future Hall of Famer. But I don't think that necessarily makes him like a disappointing first pick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I reckon he's average. To be honest, basically exactly what you guys said. Just split down the middle because Brendan went disappointing. And you guys.
Okay. Well, what we'll do, we'll leave. Obviously, we haven't come to an agreement there, so we'll leave Ben Simmons and we'll move on. We'll come back to him.
I'm as I said, he could be anywhere from possible Hall of Famer to pretty good.
We'll
So
go back to him. Blake Griffin. Where we got Blake Griffin?
Is he
good.
possibly Hall of Fame?
I
No?
don't think he's a possibly Hall of Fame. Like he hasn't won a chip. He hasn't won any major awards. I've got him in pretty good personally. Like I think he's a lock for pretty good.
yeah,
Multiple time All Star. Really really good player. But hasn't won. I don't think anything major enough to put him in the Hall of Fame conversation.
Yeah, that's a good point.
If he can ride the coattails of a couple of championship teams, maybe in the last few years of his career, then maybe that tips him over the Hall of Fame edge.
yeah.
But until that stage, I don't think he's a Hall of Famer or even possibly a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
Yeah. Happy Tom?
Yeah, pretty much. He's pretty good with his career.
Yeah.
I mean, when he was on the Clippers with CP, they were dominant, and then
Yeah.
it was just
And if they had won a chip during that phase, and he was one of the finals MVP or there or thereabouts, so they went on a few really good runs, you'd go, oh yeah, maybe he's in that Hall of Fame conversation, but just isn't. I don't think.
Yeah.
Andrew Bogan. I know there's a couple of fans of his podcast in the group here. I've personally pretty much got him at average. I think I think he performed well.
Yeah.
I don't think he outperformed what a number one pick is expected, but I don't think he underperformed either, personally.
Yeah, no, I've got him at average too.
Yeah.
The only thing that might put him up is he's got a ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, he's average.
I think he performed as he was expected to and didn't. I wouldn't say he did anything extra to exceed that. So I'm pretty happy with him right there.
Yeah, that's good.
pretty cool.
This one's pretty easy, I think.
Yeah, we just whack
Bust.
this one up here.
Bust.
Yeah.
I mean, if there was another tier higher, we'd put him there as well. But there's not. So
You need another category for actors.
we need another category for GOAT.
Yeah.
Let's whack him up there.
MJ wasn't a number one pick.
No, he was number 2 pick, so wouldn't even on the list anyway if we went back to his draft days. So didn't make the cut.
He'd be up there.
Anthony Davis, I think he's still in the possibly Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
He's won a chip. He's still young enough to win an MVP or Defensive Player of the Year or something along those lines, and win more chips as well.
He's got to stay healthy.
Absolutely.
That's his biggest,
absolutely.
Yeah.
But I mean, he already got named as a top 75 all-time player, which seems pretty ludicrous to me. But
yeah, I probably think I think it's more than likely he'll make the Hall of Fame, but I think we probably have to put him in the possibly Hall of Fame category.
Well, because I don't think it's a lock, right?
Yeah, it's not a lock.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's go with possibly. This one's a really interesting one. The Derrick Rose next, really interesting.
Oh,
youngest ever MVP.
Yep.
Had a couple of really, really dominant years with the Bulls. Then obviously got injured, struggled for a little while, then sort of came back as a real quality bench 6-man option, and has been really, really solid since. I mean, it's a tough one. I'd love to say he's Hall of Fame, but I think he's only possibly, to be honest.
Yeah, I think he's the MVP puts him ahead of some of the other blokes there. So yeah, I'm possible. Hall of Fame for him.
Yeah, I'd go possibly Hall of Fame as well, just because his prime was, probably it was, only 2 or 3 years. So it was like, it's one of those things that it's like, yeah, he won an MVP, but as a whole career, it's possibly Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
But
Tommy?
I'd absolutely love to see him make it.
Yeah, absolutely. Any difference in opinion there, Tommy?
Yeah, I'd say to me he's like top of pretty good, almost possibly Hall of Fame, just because like what he did in those 3 years were that good, but then he didn't really do anything else after.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it was like he was good for that 3 years, and then he's just basically been a role player for the past
Yeah.
7 or 8 years.
Yeah,
so I'd say
I reckon
I think it's
MVP
just,
puts him up though.
yeah, it does, especially with the youngest
Yeah.
MVP.
well, I mean, you look at the list of the players we've put there so far, and there's only one of the MVP there. So,
Yeah.
I think he's could be a fair shout. So I think we put him possibly Hall of Fame. for
Yeah, I'm
now.
happy to put him in there.
Happy to move him. Dwight Howard obviously had a bit of a slower end of his career so far, but I've got him as Hall of Fame. He's a 3-time defensive player of the
100%
year.
agreed.
Yeah.
One of the best defenders we've seen since, I don't know, someone really good.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to put him in Hall of Fame.
Someone really good.
Yeah.
Nah,
I couldn't think of a
nah.
really good defender off the top of my head, right? So, but yeah, I mean, I think there's a few people now, especially on social media, that forget how good he was or didn't see how good he was. But yeah, it was absolutely elite. So I'll lock for the Hall of Fame. And a massive snub for the top 75 list. So, Marcel Forbes. It's a tough one.
I'm interested to see what you guys say.
Yeah, I've got him. I mean, I've got him as disappointing, bordering on a bust, depending on how his next couple of years of his career go.
Yeah, same.
Because if he can't solidify himself in a starting role and stay healthy, then I think as a number 1 pick, that's a bust. You know what I mean? Like it's not the same level as the other guys, but at the moment he's disappointing. But if throughout the next couple of years, if he can't, especially at Orlando, if he can't, play a significant role, then I think, that's when you start talking, bust.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's disappointing.
Yeah.
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 Especially not getting a starting role on Orlando. Like,
I mean, they've got Colin. Colin is the GOAT, but
yeah, exactly.
yeah, true. Disappointing.
Steph wouldn't start at Orlando.
No, it's Colin Anthony every day. But yeah, no, I was thinking about putting him in a bust, but I think it's probably a bit too early. Like I feel like he still has a bit to show, and he's shown flashes of being a good NBA player. But yeah, just probably for now, it's definitely disappointing. But yeah, could potentially be a bust.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
His health's letting down at the moment, and that's if he can get a season or two where he stays healthy for the majority of the season rather than spending half to 3/4 of it on the sidelines, then you don't know, he could be good to average sort of player.
Absolutely. And I mean, you never know what'll happen, but yeah, he at the moment he needs a couple of good years under his belt if he's to avoid dropping further. At least in our tier list, which I'm sure he'll be looking at, so he'll be wanting to avoid that. I have no doubt.
100%.
Next, we've got Kenyan Martin. I mean, you probably aren't old enough to remember Kenyan Martin at all.
Yeah, he's got a good 2K card.
He does. I've got him as average. I think he made an All-Star game or two. Good defender. I mean, wasn't anything special. I'd probably have him as just below Bogan, but still an average. Is where I'd have him anyway. But that's from what I saw of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah, I don't really know much about him, but I've definitely heard the name, so he's not a bust or disappointing.
Oh, well, his son's playing with the Rockets now, isn't he? Kenyan Martin Jr.
Requested a trade the other day.
Oh, did he actually?
Yeah, requested a trade
Really?
from the Rockets. Yeah, so we'll see where he goes.
Young fella out here requesting trades.
Yeah, hasn't done anything in the league. He just don't league anymore. But yeah, anyway. Kwame Brown.
Bust.
Pretty happy to put him down here.
Yeah.
I think he's probably above Barnardi, but I'm pretty happy to put him down there. Pretty average player for his entire career. Average to worse, like to bad.
Yeah.
I think, did he get a ring with the Lakers in the end? I'm not sure. I don't remember. He might have been on Kobe's team. Or he was on Kobe's team at some point, but I don't know whether they want to ring that yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kyrie's an interesting one. he'll obviously.
I've
finish
actually
with
got a Kyrie
100
hat on,
points.
by the way.
Oh yeah,
got a
like
Kyrie
yeah.
hat on.
I've got my Kyrie hat on as well, actually. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
I-
awesome.
I actually thought Pat would have photoshopped the Lakers jersey.
Don't tempt me. I was tempted. Had more time, it might have happened. But
Yeah.
I mean, I think Kyrie's a really interesting one. I really do. I think obviously won a championship, had a major role in that championship. Was probably the second best player in the series. Has done, like, his statistical numbers are really, really good. And he's one of those guys that's very noticeable on the court in terms of he does flashy things and special things. But outside of that one championship and rookie of the year, I don't think he's made an All-NBA team. Or he might have made one or two. But he's it's kind of getting to the point now where he needs to win a couple more things, I think, to be really like a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
I'd probably have him impossible still, because he's still got a few years left, and I would say he's as good as Anthony Davis or better.
Yeah.
In terms of their careers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got him impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think career wise he's very similar level to Anthony Davis, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm definitely happy to put him in there.
That's what they were out there. Oh yeah.
He's
Greg
a
Oden.
bust.
Yeah. That
I
sucks.
don't even think it was fully his fault. Like, I think injuries were
Yeah,
like
big time
the
problem,
major
man,
reason
yeah.
for it. But because he was a beast in college. Got drafted before KD,
Yeah,
which is crazy.
Yeah, which is mad, and then barely played, and yeah, unfortunately for him, bust. Karl Anthony Towns. Now, I think Karl Anthony Towns will finish as a Hall of Famer. If he's not, he's probably not that level yet when you look at the guys we've got up there. I'd probably have him above Derrick Rose, personally. But I'd have him possibly Hall of Fame, for me anyway.
Yeah. I've
Yeah,
got him as possible. I've got him as possible. I think that's pretty clear cut that, yeah, as long as he finishes with a few things, you'll be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. He might be one of those guys like Charles Barkley, doesn't win a ring or anything, but like does a whole bunch of other stuff that gets him there. What do you think, Licky? Happy with that?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that as well. Best shooting big man of all time. So yeah, I'm happy with that as well.
Cool.
Took
John
the
Wall.
words right out of my mouth.
John Wall, the next one. That's
Pat,
a tough
Pat
one.
do you want to be the first one to say? Because I know he's one of your favorite players of all
Bro,
time.
he's my favorite point guard of all time. Absolutely love him. His high school mixtape is next level.
Oh, that's facts. That's
yeah.
facts.
I grew up on his high school mixtape, bro.
Yeah.
Look, man, I'd love to say he's possibly Hall of Fame, but he's really, really not. He's probably pretty good.
Yeah.
Had he stayed healthy and the Wizards do a few things, then like maybe because like realistically, like if the Wizards had done a little bit more, we'd be talking about him probably on nearly Kyrie's level. But the fact that he's been like he has barely played in like 4 or 5 years, he's really diminished. So I have him better than Blake, but to me he's just there and pretty good.
Yeah.
But if we're talking high school mixtape, he's GOAT. Like he's top tier.
Even LeBron can't compete with that.
No,
His high school mixtape's not as good.
If you guys haven't watched it, we might have to do a reaction video of that at some point because that's just crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely pretty good too. In my
Yeah.
eyes.
Yeah, absolutely. That's fair. Very recent. Someone who's won something and probably changed their standing on this list. Andrew Wiggins.
All-Star Wiggins.
All-Star Wigs.
Coops, what do you got for us?
Robbed Finals MVP Wigs.
Yeah. I've actually got him pretty good.
I think so.
Second best player on a championship team. Was clear second best on the team this year too. Prior to that, if he just went off what he did at the Timberwolves, you'd probably have him at average. But yeah,
I always have it disappointing at the Timberwolves, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think he's look. I don't think he's Blake Griffin or John Wall level personally. Like he's made one All-Star game, never made an All-NBA team. Yeah, he's won a chip and was really good during that run. But yeah, for me, I've probably got him behind those guys. But I'm happy to be swayed, I guess. If anyone thinks he should be higher than those two.
I've got him behind those guys, but he's certainly pretty good.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I think what he's done this season has probably put him there. I think, prior to this season, he would have been average or disappointing. But yeah, and then we've got Yao Ming. I'm just going to go ahead and whack him straight up in Hall of Fame.
because that's where he is.
Because he's there.
Yeah.
pretty happy with that.
Can't
Yeah.
argue with that.
Back to the Ben Simmons question. I look at that list and I think if we've got wings in pretty good, I think Ben Simmons has
he's
to be
pretty
I
good.
was just gonna say that. I was gonna say, Brendo, if you're happy to put Wiggs in pretty good, I think you've got to put Ben Simmons in.
But my thing with Weeks, all right, is he performed when it mattered. Ben Simmons didn't. He went missing. Wouldn't
That is
even
a
take
good
an
point.
open shot, open layup.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just think like
that's my thing with him. I'm happy to have Wiggs above him. I get that he's probably a better player.
Man.
I get that he's probably a better player than Wiggs, but when it comes down to it, it's your performance in the big games, and he choked. End of story.
But like great players have choked before.
Yeah, but that's a pretty bad choke.
Yeah. I've got him above Wiggs, but
yeah, at the end of the day, I think Wiggins has made one All-Star game that he probably shouldn't have even made. Ben Simmons has made All NBA teams.
yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
Don't reckon that those last 3 years have hurt Ben Simmons' career trajectory?
Big time. Big time.
Yeah.
Well, I think I'd probably say he's around average then too.
I feel like this is recency bias.
He's average or pretty good, but I'd say he's below Wiggins.
No, he's not
That's
below Wiggins.
classic Warriors, bro.
Bro, no. Ben Simmons is it.
Bro, Tom would be like, I think he's pretty good, but he's probably below Kevin Looney.
No, just if we're talking about players who are disappointing though, like Wiggins was expected to be like the next LeBron.
The next Kobe,
like, yeah, next Kobe, next LeBron. Like he was like meant to be the shit. So like he was disappointing for so many years, and now he's become like a quality NBA player, but he's still not like a superstar or anything. Like he's still.
I'll have Ben Simmons and Wiggins in average then. Put them both in average.
Put them both in average.
I don't reckon Ben Simmons.
I don't think Ben Simmons.
He was,
is a
but
superstar.
he's dropped down a bit.
But I would say Ben Simmons is more of closer to a superstar than Andrew Wiggins is.
Agreed.
Yeah, but they're both in like it's.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
But Brendan, you're going like, he was good in the playoffs, but he was good in like one playoffs. Like other than that, he's accomplished nothing.
No, I
Ben
know
Simmons has
that.
All NBA and has All Star nods, deserved an NBA All NBA and All Star nods, runner-up defensive player of the year.
Yeah, second defensive player of the year as well. So
Yeah, I think they're heading opposite directions though at the moment.
Well, I guess we'll see.
Yeah, but
We'll see if one playoff series is evidence.
average.
Ben Simmons has got the Nets to himself this season, hopefully. So
Yeah, because Kyrie will be leaving and KD will go as well.
yeah.
So the Nets are tanking.
or it's the secret code and they're just going to surround him with shooters and that's it. Right, we've got to put him somewhere.
The ball.
Look, I'd put him there with Wiggs in pretty good.
Okay. Well, I'm going to put him
above
there.
Wiggs.
Personally, my video, I'm controlling it. I'm putting it above Wiggs.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
If you guys want to do it for your videos, you can change it. But for now, that's what we're doing. But I mean, all that shows is like how like difficult it is still to pick to me. Like you look at that, we've got as many busts as any other category.
Yeah.
Like we've got more busts than Hall of Famers coming from the first overall pick in 20 years.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. It's probably one of the toughest things to do as an NBA GM is finding these 18-year-old kids and seeing if they can be viable NBA players. And we've been many people fail before.
And you've got like 8 of those 20 that have never made an All-Star game.
Yeah.
Which is absurd. Crazy. Anyway, that's it. Hopefully anyone that watches this will obviously agree with everything I've said and probably disagree with Brendo, at least in the last one. But regardless, comment below.
You
Send
can
all your
disagree
hate
with
his
me.
way.
That's fine.
Send all your hate his
I
way.
still think Wiggins has been better than 8 and Bogan and that.
Yeah,
that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, you put him top side of average above them all still.
Anyway, leave your comments with your thoughts and like, subscribe, all that sort of jazz. And we'll see you for another one in the not too distant future, I suppose.
Beautiful.
Easy done.
Peace
There you go,
out.
see ya.
Catch us later.